Hello, Gravelers. Welcome to Mastering RPI, Chapter 3, Lesson 3, Event Day Fueling. One of the things that I have this occur to me all the time. Athletes come up to me, they say, hey, Coach Tim, I've trained 12, 14, 16 weeks for my big event. I thought I had it all right. I went to that big event and I didn't achieve my goals. I failed. I fell apart, whatever it is. And then I say, well, what went wrong? What do you think went wrong? And they always give me this answer first. Well, I just didn't train enough. I needed to train harder. I needed to do more work. But then when we get into the dialogue about what really happened, I can't tell you the number of times we discover that poor nutrition, not their fitness, was the leading cause of them missing their target, failing, or not achieving their goals. And the funny thing is, nutrition should be the easier one to get right, but often it isn't. Rebecca, have you ever had anything like that happen to you?
Yeah, I mean, I think a really good point to think about is no matter what fitness level you're coming in, it's event day. So it's too late to change your fitness, but it's not too late to really nail your nutrition. It's just the one thing, no matter where you're at, will elevate your performance if you nail that. And you can see that bullseye. You want to hit it right in the center. It's not hard. I've been an athlete for many decades, and I used to believe that I was going so long I could eat whatever I wanted. And it wasn't until late 30s I started to really learn about nutrition and realize, garbage in means garbage out. And so it's one of the easiest ways to elevate your performance, especially on race day. You're getting, there's a lot going on. So Tim's going to talk about making a plan and really nailing it. And it's not hard to do. So there's no excuse not to do it. It's definitely going to make you ride better on event day.
That's right. And Rebecca, you just said the key, and everybody should think about this. You should have a plan. Not having a plan is planning to fail in this scenario. When we talk about a plan, we begin to talk about timing and execution. Those are two key elements of the plan. So let's build a simple event day plan together. Now, in the previous lessons, we talked about overall fueling for performance and the role of carbs and protein and some things like that. We're really just going to hone in on your event day plan here. And we're going to do so in just looking at timing and targets on event day. Now, that day doesn't start at the start line. It starts 3 to 4 hours before your event starts. You want to get a full meal in you and a very carb-rich meal. Remember in the last lesson, we talked about carbs are fuel. You want to achieve 3 to 4 grams of carbs per kilogram of body weight. Now, I know here in America, kilograms is not what we always use, but I'm going to show you, I'm going to convert it to pounds in a couple of slides, so we'll get there. But you want to target 3 to 4 grams of kilograms in carbs in that meal. Two reasons. You want it 3 to 4 hours before so you can absorb and be very, topped off. You want your fueling topped off before you head to the start line, not way before, not after you start. And then two, you want your body to absorb all those macronutrients that it wants, but we also want to pass through all the things that we don't want so that we don't have any GI during our event. Once we get that meal into us, we're working on our race prep. We're getting ready to head to the start line. About an hour before the event, we want a fueling snack. We want to put a little fuel. We want to really make sure we're topped off long before the event starts. And there we're targeting about 1 gram per kilogram of body weight, 1 gram of carbs per kilogram of body weight. So we're topping the system off here. These grams, these carbs it could be a pure carb. One of the things that people, a lot of times about an hour, I literally have a professional athlete riding at the world tour level who gets so nervous about an hour out, they can't eat. And he's like, well, what do I do? What's my alternative? And I'm like, drink a bottle of sports drink mix. And he's like, well, that works. Yep, carbs are carbs in that case. So there's options, but you want that fueling snack about an hour out. Now, 5 to 15 minutes to start. This is an important element. Most people think about their event day fueling like, I'm going to go to the start line. I'm going to eat one piece of food every half an hour. So they start at the start line and they ride a half an hour. And then if lucky, they eat their first piece of food. Or maybe you're thinking I'm going to eat one every hour. So then you start and an hour later, you eat your first piece of food. Don't do that. That's a bad idea. It has massive impacts on blood sugar and other factors. You want your first event fueling element to happen 5 to 15 minutes before the start. 30 grams, not body weight here, just a flat, top that carb. because those are the carbs you're going to be using in the first 45 minutes of the race, first half an hour of the race. So you want to get it in just before start.
That's right. The start line, your bike start line and your nutrition start line are two different things. So that's a really good point to remember.
That's a really great way to say it. I'm going to steal that. And then finally, we have event fueling. And event fueling, the in-event fueling, I see people either underthink or overthink. And both of those will get you in trouble. The reality is you want to target 60 to 120 grams of carbs an hour. That's your core strategy. Carbs are your driving fuel source. Now, for longer ultra events and things like that, there is a role of protein and fats in the way they regulate digestion and help the body overall. But just focus on getting your carbs right, 60 to 120 grams. The longer and the harder like if you're going to ride a shorter event like the Tater Tot, not be pushing it to the edge, 60 or closer to 60, 70 grams of carbs is a good target. If you're doing the full Magilla, you're riding the Queen stage, you're doing the baked potato, and you're going to be going hard every day, pushing over 100 and towards 120 grams is a good target. You don't want too much because that can give you GI and some other problems. You don't want too little because you'll quickly fatigue out. But in that range is excellent. When we get into those carb ranges of 60 to 100 grams of carbs, we need to be hydrating well. Hydration is part of, let's call it digestion, but more importantly, absorption and then utilization of those carbs. If we're dramatically dehydrated and we think we're taking in the right amount of fuel, you're not absorbing, because you not only have to get it in you, you have to absorb it. So let's translate this into a real experience. Let's take a 60 kilogram rider, which in pounds is 133 pounds. So 60 kilograms is 133 pounds. Now, I always do this in kilograms because a lot of the research science is done in kilograms, and I always want to match and be science-based. If you don't know how to convert pounds to kilograms, I have this super secret math secret. Here it is. Google it. Just Google 133 pounds in kilograms, or and you'll get the answer. Google will gladly tell you, easiest way. But in this example, a 60 kilogram athlete is approximately targeting 210 grams of carbs. That's 3 to 4 grams times 60. And I just picked a number in the middle because you don't have to be exactly precise. You want to be in that range, but don't be careful of over precision. 210 grams of carbs in their pre-meal, 1 gram of carbs at 60. That math's easy, right? We can all do that. 60 grams of carbs. This is 30. This is just set. We've moved off body weight. These pre ones are based on body weight. These ones are just carb intake at this point. You get your 30, your nutrition start line. Told you I'd steal it. You get your nutrition start line 5 to 15 minutes early. That's your 30 grams of carbs, then 60 to 120 grams of carbs in the event. That's good fueling. Don't underthink it. Like, don't ignore this and just be like, I'm just going to eat some Cheetos and I'll be okay. Get the right fuel, the right carbs, good nutrition, but also don't overthink it. People get and then they don't end up executing. It's too complex. It's too hard. Get the carbs in you, the simplest and easy way you can do it. Now, I want to give you a trick. And when I start talking about 60 grams of body weight, 133 pounds of body weight, and 12 carbs per gram here, and 15, I want to challenge everybody after this lesson. Go look around your kitchen. Go take out your ride food. And I want you to see it, use your eyes, and start to translate those numbers into product. So here's an example. Like GU Roctane. I love GU Roctane because you can make it pretty strong and it doesn't get too strong in flavor, or you can just use 1 scoop and go half strength. So you get a pretty good variability. But at 2 scoops, it's 60 grams of carbs. That's legit. That alone will get you to the entry to the hourly gain. But if you did like a GU or a gel, you add a gel to that, 20 to 25 grams is typical for most. So look at your products and begin to visualize, because a full bottle of Roctane and 1 gel gets me to about 85 grams of carbs an hour. That would put me in the sweet spot. I got to make sure I eat it and drink it. But then we tend to think about foods at the RPI rest stops and this and that. What do we see? Does it have nutrition? Look at banana. Look at, banana. Unfortunately, it doesn't have like a label on it usually where you can look it up. But a banana has somewhere between 25 and 30 grams of carbs. So if you were targeting 90 grams of carbs, like, I'm only eating bananas, you would need at least 3 bananas an hour. I'm going to tell you right now, that would be a bad idea, but we'll just leave it. What about Coke? We think like Coke, like we never drink Coke. I'm not a big fan. And Coke is a processed product that in general isn't healthy for you. But in race events, I've drank my fair share of Coke and I will continue to do so. 39 grams of carbs in a can of Coke. It is very simple carbs, quick. So if you're trying to do 90 and the only thing you have at aid stations is water and a Coke and you don't have enough fuel, drink a Coke. 2 Cokes will get you into that good mid-range. Potatoes, I had to do it. So at RPI, you can either shoot your potatoes at the potato gun or we get an opportunity to eat them. Potatoes, because of variance in size, they actually have pretty large variance in size, can be anywhere from 20 to 40 grams of carbs plus. So a potato, I got to be honest, I actually use potato as like one of my fueling foods because I cut them in quarters and salt and pepper them, and because that's my savory. Because I'm not a big sweet person, I quickly get down on gels and drinks. So all kinds of different products, but that's your homework. Go and start to visualize. Lay products out like this product and this product gets me 90 grams. This product and this product gets me 80 grams. Because if you can see it, then you can begin to plan how to eat it. Anything to add to that, Rebecca?
No, I mean, I love that because yeah, you've got to educate yourself and read some labels and then just start implementing it. And I really like that your nutrition start is before your race start, and then also your hourly plan. It takes discipline. It really takes discipline. You lay it out. Typically what I do, I lay my food out. If I think it's going to take me 8 hours, I lay it out at home and I look at it all, I count it up, I move it around for flavor and for carbs and the energy source that I want. And then I really stick to that plan. And that's the hard part, the discipline in event day. Make a plan. And then if you need to set an alarm on your Garmin to go off every 30 minutes, because what you can't do is bring 8 hours worth of food and eat it all at hour 6 and cram it in. You can't catch up that way. So it's not like putting gas in your car. So I really, that hourly schedule is super important to plan and then to really try to stick to. But great advice. Thank you, Tim, and good luck going and looking at your labels and planning your nutrition for event day.
All right, everybody, have fun. We'll see you soon.
Bye.